To bookworms, welcome to episode 142 of the Cantina Book Club podcast, where readers can find interviews with authors of all genres. I'm Megan, self-proclaimed Cantina Queen, here to bring you insights from the authors themselves. Each week features a Cantina conversation with an author. Sometimes they're returning guests, and sometimes it's someone new. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you never miss out on an episode, and feel free to browse through existing episodes so that you could catch a previous interview about a book that you finished. Today's episode features a chat with returning guests, RaeAnne Thayne. We're talking about her book, The Rainy Day Bookshop. That book is available now. I always love catching up with RaeAnne. It's such a lovely conversation with her, and I do really adore her work. So it's always fun to catch up with her. And I was really excited to ask her more fun questions since I've covered her background before. Some spoilers do pop up in these conversations, but the episode is more enjoyable if you've read the book anyway. So if you don't know why I am giggling about a certain MMC and her story and why we both, RaeAnne and I, love him so much, hit pause, add this episode to your playlist, and go pick up a copy of The Rainy Day Bookshop. This interview will be ready when you are. Just a heads up that I often use adult language to express my feelings towards the authors and their work, whether the characters need to get their shit together or I'm saying what the fuck to the author for making me feel things. Just please be mindful of listening ears. Books coming out this week, June 8th, Party of a Lifetime by Henry Corrigan. He is going to be a future guest on the show, and his interview is coming out really soon. June 9th, 20 Something Else by Stephanie Mack and A Botanist's Guide to Tradition and Treachery by Kate Kavari. Both of their interviews with these ladies are coming up as well. So I'm really excited. June is going to be like super packed, and you've just got a plethora of summer reads available. And without further ado, get ready, grab your favorite drink. Here is RaeAnne. Today, we are welcoming back RaeAnne Thayne. We're talking about her book, The Rainy Day Bookshop, that comes out on June 2nd. RaeAnne, thank you so much for joining me again. I'm always looking forward to talk to you. This is like what I think chat number 3
I
that
think
we've
so, and
had.
I
Yeah.
love everyone.
Oh,
I'm happy
thank you. I'm gonna say like soon enough you'll get a jacket. I don't know. Like
Five Timers Club.
yeah, pretty much, right? And I just finished this book. It's fresh in my brain, and I will say this after the past few books that I've been reading, both for just reviewing and for pleasure and for interviewing, they were okay, but I was missing that spark, and I was so excited to get to your work, and you did not disappoint. It was everything I expected from you, and
Oh,
we'll
that's
we'll get
nice.
into it.
Thank you. I'm happy to know that you enjoyed it.
Absolutely. I got my faith in you. I have a certain level. The bar is set high. I'm sorry, but absolutely. Okay, so to get started, can you share a summary of the book so that we can follow along with the conversation?
This is a book about a woman who's kind of sandwich generation, like so many of us are. So she's taking care of her mother, who's been injured recently. Her mother's somewhat older. I wouldn't say elderly, but she's older. And then she also has a strained relationship with her daughter because of some things that have happened in the past. And so when her mother gets injured, she begs her daughter to come back to their little Oregon town to take care of her bookstore for Rosie. That's the kind of the main female character. And her daughter has a daughter as well. So it's 4 generations living in the same house, dealing with each other. And of course, there are some romantic elements. And I have 2 romances in this book that I weave together.
I love it. I love it. You do romance. I would say it's like a bell pepper. Like not even like any really chili peppers. You do the bell pepper spicy level really well.
Thank you.
Like I think that just with so much romance, like romance obviously like just is such a driver of the industry, and we all, I don't care who you are, we all like eat that shit up. We all want like the yearning, the pining, and then it's for those of us who prefer the, like we've talked about this before, those of us who prefer that on page intimacy versus like, oh, they're not getting there yet. Or it's like fade to black or closed door. You're like the women's fiction slash romance tiptoeing author that I know what I'm getting because I loved your books before. And I'm like, I ate that shit up with the pining, with the like internal thoughts, the internal monologue of the characters interacting with each other and they're fighting their urges. And I loved it. And even when they do finally the language and the scene that you set, the feelings that you set, it's just like, oh, like I scratch that itch. It scratched
Oh,
that
good.
itch. Yeah.
Well, and it's a hard choice sometimes when you're writing a book to say, "How do I keep this the way I wanna write it?" Which is I like to focus on the emotional connection between the people. Obviously, there's a physical connection as well, but I like to bring out the emotional part of that journey. I Other authors do this physical part so much better than I feel like I do, so let them have their
I
skill and
mean,
I'll
I
focus on
think if you wanted to play around, you could go you do it very well. You how to write like where the hands and the mouths and the feelings and the igniting internal like urges go. Like I could tell
Yeah.
that you have experience doing
Well,
that.
and it hasn't always my voice has not always been what it is now. My first probably 30 books were on page intimacy for the story, and so I have written that. I know how to write it. I've done it before. It's just not I just felt like I was not super great at it and wasn't writing it as well as other people do. So I decided to focus on what I feel like are my strengths, which is the emotion, the cozy feeling, the relaxing in feeling. That's where I
I
wanted to
love how you're like, I don't know, the first 30 books I was just kind of
Well, been around forever. In fact, I should say that June marks the anniversary of my 30 years that my first book came out 30
That's
years ago in June.
amazing. That's huge. I think there's like a small group of authors who could say that. I
Yeah,
mean, like that's
a few
awesome.
of
Like
us,
and
but
you're
yeah.
still trucking. You're still doing it. You're still whipping out these books that are just like that still connect with readers, still that still feed us like whatever we're into. Because I think like if we're speaking about the boom of smut, the boom of on-screen, whatever call it smut, but like there's on-screen intimacy and it's like super raw. It's like, oh no, this is what this is gonna be, and it doesn't pretend to be anything else. So there's like sports romance and contemporary, and there's like, oh, just a heads up, there's gonna be on scene. That's what I feel like on page. Like if there could be a rating, like there's a TV and film rating, I feel like there should be a book rating also. It would be really helpful because I've read reviews of other people's books where it's like, oh my god, and it's like just don't read it. You don't have to complain
Right.
about something. If you could put the book down, and
If
it's like it is
it's not your jam, just put it down. But there's people that's what I do love that about romance is that whatever you're into, whatever level you like, whatever floats your boat, you can find that book out there,
exactly.
and then you'll find more in that
Yeah,
book.
like the
Finding.
algorithm will find you. So kinda wanna, like, explore, like, from you and your growth as an author and kinda you playing around with your comfort level or, well, your confidence level, I should say. You're comfortable with going there, but your confidence of being like, "I'm gonna stick to what I know that I'm gonna be a rock star at." So, seeing the kinda landscape as it is today of, the booming romance industry and where it's gone in various levels of said intimacy. Have your thoughts changed? Like, have you thought about maybe like, returning to on page good times?
Not really, because that's not the story that I wanna tell anymore. It's just not, and I feel like this is what I've my readers come to me for, is a cozy read that they can settle into. If they're uncomfortable with that, they don't have to worry about it. If they want that, there's a little tinge there where they can still get the feels and still get the tingle in your stomach. I try to bring that as well. I do think that there's a wide spectrum of readers out there, and it almost feels like they're
Absolutely.
becoming more polarized as time goes on, that they want the really sexy or the really nothing. It's hard to I feel like my books are not really nothing because there's love scenes in there, not quite going all the way, but I just feel like there's enough for everybody out there. There are readers who want what I write, and I'm going to keep giving them the kind of story that I like to tell, and that's about community. It's not just the romance in mine, it's about the community. It's about people some getting over the difficulties that they've had in their past in order to find a happy ending. And I feel like that's a message we need so much right now about taking care of each other and
Yeah.
not being able to help our neighbors and love our neighbors no matter what. And I just feel like that's the message I want to bring out. And I think there's nothing wrong with that at this point.
No, there's not.
Maybe
Yeah.
not it's hitting it on TikTok right now. I think at some point, some of the people that are really driving that TikTok will start thinking about deeper issues at some point in their life and want other kind of stories too.
Yeah, I love everything that you said, and it's you if you're considering your readers and you're considering your readership, I love that you're like, no, there's plenty out there. And if I want to tap into that, I guess you're protecting yourself and you're just sticking with what gets you going. Like, because I feel like if you weren't really into it, readers would be able to tell. You know what I mean? Like, if you were trying too hard, readers would be able to tell because I could tell, like, and I recognize your writing and I recognize the moments, the leading up to it. I was like, yes. I remember, like, in my notes, I was like, yes, they finally kissed. And I was like, oh no, of course they're going back to like self doubt and all this shit. I was like, boo. Like,
Sorry. It
it's like
can't be that easy. I
yeah,
can't make it that easy on them. Work for it,
they
or it's
have
not
to
worth
fight. Yeah, there has to be something where they fight. Like, why can't they be together for this and this? Like, they have to like fight that urge, and then they can't. Like, I love it.
it. Yeah, it's not that I couldn't. I think I still could write that, although maybe not like as sexy as some of the people that are writing out right now. That's not the world that I live in, but I just feel like there's room for all of us. And I've got plenty of readers who love sexy, but are okay with the level in my
Well,
books
you
because I
did, like,
bring
I
down something.
loved, like, just, like, the internal monologues of your points of view where it's, like, Rosie, Emma, Bryce, and Andrew, they're all like, "I don't I don't know why I feel this way towards them," or, like, "Yes, they're sexy. Yes, they're lean and muscular and very handsome," and then, like, they
But they
got
make you
Sylvia.
really
We could talk about Sylvia. I wanna be her when I grow up, but she's like, "You could do a lot worse." It was like, yes. I love it. I love all of that, like, the 4 generations of women. I love the fact that Sylvia, what, broke her ankle rollerblading.
yeah. Yeah, she's in her 70s. She didn't let that stop her, and she broke her ankle. Yeah, and
I
so
love that.
she was so I wanted to write, like I said, the sandwich generation, but I didn't want it to be like some of the issues that a lot of us have had to deal with our parents. I
Yeah.
wanted to she can heal from and go back to her spunky dating app self,
Yeah,
you
I
know?
know, and that was a note I wrote, like, "Sylvie's on dating apps, LOL." That's hilarious. That's what I love about your writing too, where it's like, I can always, rely on you to sprinkle in some humor in there. I love it because I feel like
I
that's just what you need. I feel like it's hard, like, if I were ever to write, like, any sort of comedic anything, I'd be so self-conscious, like, "Oh, did it land?" But you find a way to make me kind of cackle, like
I always figure if it makes me laugh or smile, hopefully it will make my readers laugh or smile. But I have friends that romantic comedy is their thing, and it seems so very hard to
Yeah.
focus on that part of it and bring that into every scene that you write with these characters. I just don't know quite how they do it because I try to I like the emotions, I like the angst.
Yeah. Like, laughter, joy, like, comedy could be considered like a sub-emotion or like an emotion all up in itself, but it's tricky to, like, add that to dialogue and lead up to it. To really, like I remember one of my favorite parts was when Andrew was accidentally, unintentionally overhearing Rosie and Emma, like, Rosie talking shit about his book, and he was, like, trying to, like, make himself smaller, and he was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna, like, duck and pretend I'm looking at these this row of books." And he found himself looking at a, like, menopause.
And I that is like my worst nightmare to be in a situation where people are dissing me in my
Oh, so
books.
you had to throw it at poor Andrew.
I just so for maybe readers who haven't read it or followers who haven't read it, is that Andrew is a fantasy author and he's very popular. He's had like a movie made out of his books that's been hugely popular. There's another one in the works. And so it's basically the new kind of I was thinking Star Wars, that kind of a story, and everybody's into it and loves it. And but Rosie does not like it. So she owns this bookstore that her daughter is running, and she and her daughter are talking about him moving to town because they know he's moving to town. And Rosie kind of disses his books and said that he doesn't know anything about women and she doesn't like his characters and all these things. And so I thought that was I love the idea of an author and a person who doesn't like their books, and how do you come together at that point because your books are like I mean
Yeah.
who's
And
coming from an
he's
author.
trying to, like, comfort himself. He's like, "Oh, it's like it's not gonna hit with everybody." Like,
Yeah. So that was a fun scene for me to write.
I
And
bet.
I found myself referring to it often in the book and I had to back off because it was too often that they went back to that
Oh, I
conversation and
know.
gotta go, move on. You know, they had to
But I loved it while he was like, returned to that. He was like, even if I don't seem like I've been with women.
And the other part that I liked about that dynamic between them is that once she knows him and she starts listening, she listens to his books again and she has a whole new appreciation for his writing style after she knows him. And so
Yeah.
I think there was some fun part of it
And
there
I can
that.
totally relate to that because I always like to read the books before I talk to
Mhm.
you all, and I will have a certain opinion about it, whether I'm pissed off or like touched or like underwhelmed. And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know how I feel about this." But then that's definitely true where I do feel a certain different kind of way after speaking to you all. And so there's books where I'm like, I don't know. And then when I talk to them, I'm like, okay, that helps me see it a different way. And I'm thinking like, "Oh, man, like, not a whole lot of people have that opportunity." And, like, but you guys can't talk to every single person that picks up your book. So that's why I'm like, "Oh, I think it's great that I have this opportunity." You're absolutely right where it's like that does happen, where you're like a bookstore owner, a PR agent, like anybody who's involved in the industry who might have the opportunity to.
Grandma, she's only
Yeah,
45. She had her daughter
exactly.
young, and her daughter had her daughter young, and so she's only 45, but still, she's at a different stage in her life than
Ex
he is, who had kids late in life. They're not that
and then
far
it
apart
kind of
in age.
but that part of her, like, self-doubt, that's part of her, like, journey where she's just like, "Oh god, I'm a grandma, like, what am I doing pining over this man?" Like, pining over this
And
sexy author, like, what she
who had dated the leading lady in his movie, and
Right, like,
so she felt, like, extremely inadequate compared to that.
and
Yeah.
then here we get to his point of view, and he's just like, "She's really pretty. Why am I drawn to her even if she talks shit about my book?" I love it so much. Okay, so I feel like this is a fun question to ask you. What name would you never use for a male main character or female main character?
What name would I never use? Any of my kids' names would be so hard to write. So I wouldn't use any of those, or my husband's name would be hard to write. But other than that, I think I've written 80 books, so I've used most of the names that I've ever thought of
I
and
was
liked
gonna
in
say,
my
how
life.
do you keep things fresh, keep things new to yourself? Because I'm like a reader, you're like, you could have loyal readers like me, or you can have new readers. And it's like, how do you keep things fresh for yourself? Like someone who's been writing books for 30 years. Crazy
Well,
woman.
it's the characters. I am crazy. Sometimes I look
No,
back and I go,
I mean crazy
"I
in a
get
good
here."
way, like boss ass bitch. Like, okay, you are in your own element. Like you
I feel extremely fortunate that I've been able to do this for so long. I know a lot of people that have stopped along the way and have done something else or have had discouragement and disappointment, and I've been really fortunate that I've been able to keep things going for this long in my career, and I tell people how lucky am I that I make people happy for a living. That's my job. There's not a lot of people that
That's such
can
a
say
good way to
that.
look at it. That's such an
Yeah.
awesome way to look at it. I love
And that's
that.
what when I sit down to write, that's what I think about. I think about how am I going to make somebody's day a little bit better by reading my book? What can I bring to the page? What can I and every book I try to be better, so there's the challenge of it. That keeps it fresh and exciting and interesting and hard. And then the characters are so different. It might be romances in all of them, but they're different journeys that each character has to take. And so
Yeah,
getting taking that journey is the adventure for me. The fact that I can take it in a different direction or try something new, or I don't know. That's the part that I love is just that each character is different and it feels real to me when I'm writing their book, and their book is going to be different than the previous people because they have different issues, they have a different past, they have different things to work through. So it never gets boring to me. It's hard. Some books are harder than others. It's
sure.
never boring. There's always something keeping me at it.
Different challenges,
Yeah.
like, where something that you found was easy in one book, where you're "Oh, why am I having so much trouble with this?" Yeah, I get it. No, that
Trouble.
I appreciate the struggle. I do, because it brings us the finished product, and
Right.
I love it.
I pretty much know when I'm struggling with a book and it's not working the way I want it to. It's about the characters. I did not build their conflict and their motivation strong enough. And I need to go back and figure out why are they doing this at this point in their life? How can I make that stronger? I always know if it's not working, it's something about how I created these characters and what I did with
It's not broke, don't fix it. You've got your sample, your process where you recognize your own things and you're like, yeah, I gotta get back to this. I gotta go back to the drawing board on this. Yeah, absolutely. Writing a book is not easy. And so I appreciate the fact that people like you have been doing it for so long and you've had to grow with such a changing landscape. Like it's
yeah.
crazy how much it's changed. And I appreciate
Mm,
artists like or creators like you who have had to adapt, like you said, to the TikTok world and to everything who's like, oh, my stuff might not be spicy or racy, but I still got that like that yearning and that melting into the kiss. Like it's like there's still so much to enjoy. You find a way to relate to the reader in a way, or at least just relate to yourself in a way where it's like I found a running theme in this book was people feeling guilty,
mm,
like, both Emma and Rosie feel guilty about what they're going through, like, Emma feels guilty about what she did and what she didn't say, and Rosie feels guilty about not being there, not being the mother that she felt like she needed to be, and then it's also, like, with the 4 of them, I loved that you pointed out, we have to stop looking at what we still have to do and just appreciate how far we've come. I feel like
right.
that's such a good reminder, and I feel like that's maybe one of the strongest things that I took away from your book was just like the characters had to remind themselves of
Mm.
because that's so relatable. We're all looking like, "Oh, what are we missing? What are we doing?" Like, "No, look at what you've already done." Like, that's something where, like, it touched me. I can't speak for every reader, but I feel like that's gonna resonate with so many readers where it's like,
Oh, I hope so.
we all feel some extent of this, right?
Well, we
Like,
all make mistakes. We all feel look back at our lives and think, "I wish I'd done something differently. I wish I'd handled
of
this."
course, yeah.
There's nobody who gets through life without that, and so in this particular case, it was a really hard situation that especially Rosie and Emma were dealing with, and they both dealt with it in different ways. And Rosie maybe wasn't a very good mom to her daughter at the time after her husband died. She wasn't there for Emma when she really needed a listening mom because she was grieving this husband that she'd loved. They were able to work through it and get to a better place eventually. And so that is, I do feel like that's a message that people need to hear, that you can get
It's
through it. It's
it
hard now.
really is. It really is. I feel like, especially in this day and age with social media and where everybody's just posting their positives,
Yeah.
nobody's posting their negatives.
And we all
It's
look at everybody else and think their life is so perfect, and it's not. Everybody's struggling in some way.
yeah, and I guess I've just reached a point where I'm, like, content, and it's a great feeling. I just look at things and I'm like, even if I'm like, "Oh god, how did they get there? How did they get there? Why am I not there?" But then I'm like, "Megan, it's okay." If I really wanna get there, I will do it, but, like, obviously, I have a certain comfort level where you know what I mean? Like, that's why I think a lot of your, stories resonate with me because, like I said, you touch on these relatable and serious things, and then but you're like, "I'll give you a hug while you're going through it. I'll hold your hand. I'll hold your hand while I'm putting you through this shit." Like, what
Yeah. Just hang on. It'll get better. It's gonna be hard right now while you're reading this book at this particular point, but I promise you get your happy ending at the end.
Okay. Thinking about every character in the book. I wouldn't say every character in all your books because that would be a lot to ask of you. Characters in this book, which character would you go to if you needed to plan a party?
Sylvia. Without question, Sylvia was a great. Rosie would be good too because she throws a bash in the book for the neighborhood. Sylvia is just so fun, and that's Rosie's mom. She's just this retired lady